Alright, so here's the story. We're going to hike Kilimanjaro in 1 week. But before that,
Jared and I got the bright idea that since we were going to be flying over there together, he was going to come up from Colombia. Why not try and do a couple of mountains in Mexico to
acclimatize ourselves and prepare ourselves for Kilimanjaro.
high altitude.
We're here at the first one. Malniche?
Malninche.
Here we go. Weather's not cooperating. We had a series of events that caused us some issues starting this hike. Whole plan together in about, booked everything.
A week ago.
We missed our first bus. Also my GoPro smashed.
I thought this was a good idea to start, really questioning it now. We finally picked up the rental car, but it's not the one we had reserved. They gave it away. As you guys can also tell, the weather's really looking nice for us.
Dekie lost his beanie. It was closed, it wasn't closed. We missed our rental. We had to get a different car. But we're here now, we're ready to go. This mountain begins at 3,200 meters and goes all the way up to 4,600 meters. The highest mountain that we climbed in Europe was just under 3,000 meters. So currently we're already at higher altitude than we've climbed before. The following two mountains are even more daunting.
Then we have Iztaccihuatl, which is 5,200, followed up with Pico de Orizaba, tallest mountain in Mexico, which is 5,600. Last time Jared and I did anything together, it got a little bit out of hand.
We just made it to an island. It's not much of an island. We've missed all of our goals so far. Now we're actually stranded on an island.
We might have kind of packed on too much again already.
And we decided to bring our women along with us too. Dekie's partner, Tanya. She is our local Mexican correspondent.
I will find a way to be safe.
You'll get us to the mountain, and Dekie and I, as expert climbers, will get you up the mountain.
Sure.
My beautiful wife lady. We have been not hiking in Colombia, but we've been living in a city that's pretty high, so that's good training. And lady started smoking cigarettes to get her lungs more powerful too. Here we go. Kilometer zero, 3,140. How are we feeling?
Great.
I'm very excited.
I'm soaked already. This is not what I had in mind for Mexico. I was expecting dry desert with cactuses, very hot, and this is pretty much as opposite as you can get from that. We're the Pacific Northwest. Well, we're about halfway up the mountain. Feeling pretty good, but already starting to feel the altitude. Very steep here. What do you guys think?
Doing great.
Very good.
The problem is it's raining. We have to have our rain gear on so we don't get soaked. But we have all our rain gear on and we're sweating on the inside, so we're getting soaked. That's 22. Finally hit the tree line. Just a couple kilometers left and now the real incline starts. We're gonna be hitting like a 50 to 80% grade for the rest of the way up this mountain. Have a look at that.
Oh, that's awesome. Hell yeah.
This is really just choose your own adventure. There's not really any designed path. So we're just going with whatever looks like the easiest or the most fun. As long as we're going up, we're going in the right direction. Look at that. Look at this guy. It's a little high for a lizard. That might be the cutest little lizard I've ever found. We've cracked 4,000 meters and we're all higher than we've ever been before. So we definitely feel the shortness of breath. Definitely got to take things slow. And you get tired really quickly here, but as soon as you stop, you can recover fast. So we're not that high yet that we can't catch our breaths. Breaths?
It just rained.
Follow this ridge into the clouds all the way to the summit. We are now fully mountain climbing. Not a bad view. We're about 300 meters from the top. Not gonna lie, we're all struggling right now. Heart rate's high. We're all out of breath. Looks like someone puked right here. That's pretty cool. Luckily it wasn't us.
See, you're not vomiting yet. That guy's having a worse time than you, Ton.
Yeah, we're gonna make it, I think. How's there a bumblebee up here? This final climb, a legit climb to the summit of this mountain. We've summited. Guys, our first mountain as a crew.
Hey, I'm not lying.
Amazing. What a climb. The final scramble. How are we looking, Dekie? Oh my goodness. What is that? That is incredible. That might be one of the best views we've ever had.
That really is, dude. That's on.
That's like Mordor type shit.
Yeah, that is.
These boots weren't made for climbing, but that's what they're gonna do. Incredible. Wow. And just like that, it's gone. Time to get down from here. But we got 3 hours to get down before dark, so we're good. Just finishing up the last bit of the scramble here. And then we're gonna go down this ridge line. Boom, boom, boom. This little spot here, and then a beeline right for the woods. From there, it's pretty smooth sailing. Hopefully the rain doesn't start before we get to the car. But yeah, lots of lessons learned on this mountain. It was a good warm-up, a good acclimatizer, and yeah, we got our legs under us.
Yeah, we'll see how our legs feel tomorrow for the next one.
Yeah. I broke in my boots, my $50 Decathlon boots. They actually held up quite well. My feet are very warm.
I was dying. I did almost stop.
There's a couple of tears, huh?
Yeah, I was crying. I was like, this is impossible.
For Lady, the challenge has just begun. She's a gazelle on the way up, but a lovely old grandma on the way down. Picked up these Manchut gummies. They're a classic Mexican gummy. They're kind of like a strawberry cherry flavor with chili on top of them. Pretty good. Back where it all began. We had a great time and got some great acclimatization.
It was really hard to breathe going up there. Like you walk just a little bit and you're just tired. But if you took a short break and just caught your breath for like 20 seconds, you were like, oh, I don't feel bad at all. And then you walk like 20 feet and you're like, oh my God, I'm dead. But then once we got up to like the actual rock scramble and stuff, I felt a lot better. For one, my jacket dried out, number two, I had some food. That was actually really enjoyable. I loved the second half. And I felt good. Once we got to the top, awesome view. Came back down the rock scramble, felt good, entered the woods again. I hate myself. The woods are a bad place.
But that was today, and tomorrow we will be fully acclimatized. So, looking forward to that. 6 a.m. We're off to our next mountain. Day 2, how you feeling, Dekie?
Not as bad as I thought. My knees feel like they've been used, but like not hurting. And my feet, which is the real thing I'm surprised by, they're all right. Awesome. So I'm sure I'll change my mind once we start hiking, but for right now I feel fine.
I'm feeling good, minus the lack of sleep and some sore feet. Tanya, how do you feel today? Tired? Sore?
It hurts my knees, but I'm feeling good.
Awesome.
Let's see on the mountain.
Ready for 5,000 meters?
Maybe not, but I will try.
100%?
No, 70%.
70 is pretty good. Maybe we should have rented a truck. One of the reviews said that don't let the chassis scraping stop you from enjoying a wonderful hike.
Yeah, so we're headed out to Izta, and well, the paved road just turned into this, and we still have like 20 kilometers to go. And we're in a rental sedan, which apparently it gets a little bit worse later on. So this will be a really interesting drive out there.
Well, we've reached the park entrance.
Yeah, it's locked. Huh.
How far are we from the start?
I think it said 8 kilometers.
On the bright side, car's looking all right for what we just put it through. All right, bit of messing around, bit of rough road driving, but we did finally find the entrance to the park. And now we have 7 kilometers ahead of us on an even rougher road to get to the start point. Right on schedule.
So we've hit some issues right up here. We just had an SUV in front of us and he bottomed out and had some issues going over that. Not to mention our tiny little sedan. So we're trying to evaluate how we can get past it. So there you have it. It's the Iztaccihuatl. A little bit of snow in the upper areas. Really pretty though with all the landscape around.
Well, we've made it to Iztaccihuatl. It was quite the treacherous drive, but we're here. It's in the background behind me, covered in all those clouds. We are currently just shy of 4,000 meters elevation. This mountain goes all the way up to 5,300. So we are obviously a little bit late. We're not going to be able to summit that one today, but that wasn't the plan. This is more of a training mission. So since we're already at 4,000 meters, we're just going to hike as high as we can. We've got about 6 to 7 hours of hiking today, so we're going to hike about 3 or 4 hours up and then 2 to 3 hours back down. That's the plan. Just get some more acclimatization. It would be great to get close to that 5,000 meter mark, but it's mostly just spending time here, doing a bit of hiking, and enjoying some good snacks on the mountain. Getting up there in altitude.
I was going to say, we've definitely done some elevation.
The rain is upon us. What's in the box, Dekie?
Ogilias urbanas. These guys look badass, dude.
Wow.
They had a like insanely well done Photoshop job for their team.
The Urban Eagles.
Oh yeah, let's see.
Keep going.
I just got dizzy.
How's that for a cliff? So just a few kilometers in and we're already higher than we were yesterday at the summit. So feeling pretty good. We're definitely feeling a little bit more acclimatized than we were yesterday. So hopefully in 2 days when we go to Pico de Orizaba, we'll be feeling great. All right, well, we've made it to our turnaround point for the day. We only walked about 3.5 kilometers, but we got up to 4,800 meters. We're gonna chill here a bit, acclimatize a little bit more, enjoy the incredible views. But yeah, not much to see.
The incredible view.
How you guys feeling?
Actually really good.
Yeah?
You're tired, like it's still difficult to breathe.
Tired? Tired but good. We're getting this acclimatization. We had some horrendous weather. It was muddy, rainy the entire time. Not many views. It was extremely foggy, but the mission was a success. We came back down, all feeling great.
I don't feel my legs.
Feeling a little sore after today, but nothing we can't recover from.
And I'm all wet.
It wasn't that bad. Feeling good.
Feel great after yesterday's, dude. My feet, wow, I was hurting. Bottoms of my feet were hurting, knees are hurting. I feel good on this one.
Now after that, we had a day off, we recovered, we recuperated, and then it was time to set off for our Pico adventure.
We had a rest day and our very final mountain, Pico de Orizaba, which is the main goal that we had the entire trip. All these other smaller mountains were just prep for Pico, but that was the climax of our Mexico trip.
We have to head 2 hours to the next city over. Gonna meet up with our guide, do a little acclimatization hike today, and at 1 a.m. tonight, we begin our ascent of Pico. Now, leading up to this, we were all super nervous. I, for one, was full of false confidence. I was trying to motivate everyone, but to be honest, I was really nervous.
I woke up with a sense of dread thinking about that mountain, but since I've been awake a little bit, it's kind of gone away. So we had horrible weather throughout all this. No views of any of the mountains. Even when you were driving to them, you couldn't see them. They were just covered in cloud. Cloud cover. It is rainy season in Mexico at this time. And we had pushed through, but it also was kind of demoralizing. We were like, if we're doing the tallest mountain in Mexico, which is also not supposed to be a cakewalk, we need good weather if we're going to try and attempt this. And so we started manifesting.
I was dreaming all night about how wonderful the weather's going to be and manifesting it.
Sure.
What about you, Tanya?
I was manifesting too.
Good.
Like, yeah, we're going to manifest this weather to be perfect for this. And as soon as we arrived at Pico, the weather was perfect. So we are driving out to the town of, what's it called? Iztaccihuatl. And we just got our first glimpse of Pico. And look at that, no clouds at all, totally clear at the top.
Perfect.
We're definitely manifesting that same weather for 1 o'clock onwards for the next 12 hours at 1 a.m. from...
What's the time right now?
It's a little over 12, it's 9.
9. We'll be, in 24 hours, we'll be up there.
Oh God.
So we made it to camp. A bit of a drive. Got our beds all set up.
We did an acclimation hike, we did all this other stuff, and we take a quick nap. We're going to set off at 11 p.m. that evening.
What an incredible life we have, huh?
Yeah, for real, dude.
4,300 meters. Finished the acclimatization hike. We're all feeling in tip-top shape. We got our pace. We know our guides. They seem very trustworthy. If the mountain allows it, we're going to summit tomorrow.
Pico is a beast of a mountain that neither Jared and I have experienced before. In our previous before death trips, we'd only gone up 3K, and it's never required ropes, harnesses, very little crampon use, and Pico requires all of that. Listo.
Pretty pitch black out there right now. You can see the full moon going down behind. Someone hiking up there. And right there, I can see the outline of the peak.
We set off. Carlos teaches us this cool, like, dune walk where you're walking sideways. It's kind of a crab walk to relieve stress on your calves when you're in crampons or when you're just going up a steep surface.
First hour done. Stars are pretty incredible so far. Everyone's feeling good. We all woke up with a little bit of a headache, but nothing too major. And going at a nice steady pace. Feeling really confident. Yeah, we're getting up close to that 5,000 meter mark. I think we're all starting to feel the altitude a little bit, but it's not slowing us down yet.
And we go up through first the aqueduct, which is the lower part where the glacier had been, and then it goes into the labyrinth, which is a more technical and it has a bunch of different paths. It is a labyrinth. You can get lost there. That's why they recommend a lot of people, even with ice climbing experience, still take a guide for the labyrinth portion, which once we made it through both those, we get to the actual glacier.
¿Cómo vamos? ¿Bien?
Muy bien.
¿Sí?
Excelente.
Just exit the labyrinth and we're about to come up on the glacier. It's getting serious. We got a nice education on how to properly put on our crampons, how to properly walk in them,
and we were off on the glacier.
So we have two rope teams, Jared and Lady on one with Carlos, and then myself and Tanya on the other with Hero.
All right, I'll see you guys at the top.
Last 3 hours. Maybe.
Nos vemos arriba. No tenemos opción.
No.
We have to get there.
I'm scared.
You can do it. Me too.
Step by step. Solo despacito.
Now right away, it was extremely steep and pretty terrifying, to be honest, because it was pitch black, but we just kept going, putting one foot in front of the other, and it just kept getting steeper and steeper. And we had the speed off the bat, and we ended up getting quite separated to the point where the steepness of the glacier didn't allow us to see where the other group was.
We are extremely vertical. This would not be possible without our crampons and ice axes, and of course our guides, Sterling and Tanya, down behind us in their group with their guide. We're gonna meet them at the top.
So Lady and Jared take off first, making great time. Tanya and I take off next, and we make it a very short distance before Tanya expresses some extreme exhaustion. And the whole problem with taking a break on the glacier is it's a very steep incline, and you can't really rest on it very easily unless you want to carve out a seat with your ice pick. So she lays down on the glacier, and the guide is mainly holding her up, and I'm just kind of having to stand there. That was the first of maybe 15 to 20 breaks. The poor girl had a real hard time.
About halfway up the glacier, the sun started to come up, and we could actually see how steep everything was. And that's where Lady really started to struggle, and to be honest, where I started to get a little nervous as well.
Just hit the halfway point of the glacier. About 5,350 meters, something like that, of elevation. It is incredible. Never experienced something like this.
But luckily at that point, we were high enough that we were past the point of no return, and there wasn't anything that was going to stop us before getting to the peak.
Toma la electrolyte. No. Directo. Made it to the top of the crater. A couple hundred meters. We're at the summit. Let's do it. Got the shadow of Pico over there, the massive crater over there, beautiful mountain ranges, amazing sunrise. That was one of the most difficult and unique challenges I ever faced, and I'm so happy I could do it with my wife. She is so amazing. That was incredible. I really hope Dekie and Tanya can make it. What an incredible view. Over there, you can see Popocatépetl, the one you can't climb. Right next to it, Iztaccihuatl, the one we climbed 2 days ago, and then Maliche over there. Incredible.
No, y estuvo frío allá abajo.
time to start heading back down. Not sure how the descent is going to go. Hopefully we run into Sterling and Tanya on the way. Oh, they're still on the ramp.
On our way down, we ended up passing Sterling and Tanya, and at that point I knew they were going to make it. They were looking rough. Dekie was looking real nervous. Tanya was looking exhausted, but they were close enough. I knew for sure they were going to summit.
We see Jared and Lady coming back down, which was hugely demoralizing because we knew that they had already been up there, they had waited up there, they had taken their time, they were coming back down, and we were still struggling to get up. But they came down, they had some really good words for Tanya.
We didn't make it. What? No, I was kidding. You guys are really close.
We made it up. It took much longer than it should have, but it was one of the biggest achievements she said she has ever done with her life, and one of mine as well. I've never seen her push herself anywhere near that far. She was truly a broken woman, but kept going and going and going, which is a true testament to her willpower. I was incredibly proud and happy to see her refuse to turn around. We started our way down. It was hot. The ice gets a little bit slushier at that point, and it's just a death march down that glacier. It felt like it took ages. There's no time to like take off layers. We're just trying to get down because we're trying to catch up to the other teams. We're trying to get back to the base.
We made it. Well, about 7.5 hours to summit. An hour to get down from the glacier. Our guide, Carlos, he owns the record for the fastest summit and descent. He summited in 1 hour and 17 minutes, and he came back down in like 40 minutes. So under 2 hours, he summited and got back to base camp. Insane. Summited over 200 times.
The hardest part was the last 500 meters.
Even though it's at the very end, it's super close to the cabin, you could see the cabin. It took like 1.5 hours, and it was miserable. Tanya had no strength left. I had no strength left. We were all weak.
I almost had to carry Lady down myself because at that point her knees had taken a lot of abuse. We had all blown a lot of adrenaline and we were pretty exhausted, but we finally made it down.
Poor Hetero goes and talks to the guys, and God knows what he was telling them about our rope line, but we made it, and it was an awesome experience.
Well, we survived the mountain. We all summited successfully. And yeah, Dekie and I are both super impressed and super proud of the women because, I mean, we've done tons of hiking before and summited a ton of mountains and nothing like that, but at least we've used crampons and we've spent a lot of time walking in the snow. Lady's only seen snow once before, and that was Tanya's first time seeing snow. So, yeah.
It was very challenging. I guess it's the hardest challenge I had. Very mentally and physically. And going down, that was my hardest part. But
Yeah, we think the glacier was the most difficult part, but it was amazing. I was a little bit slow, but it was a good challenge. I think this is gonna be for the rest of our lives in our memory.
Yeah, big shout out to Glacier Climbers.
Yeah, Glacier Climbers, they really helped us out. They had great guides. We already talked about how incredible.
Super friendly, their services all around. Like, they have a meal option, which was 100% worth it. They cooked us awesome meals, had it all set up.
Yeah, coming
food
from
waiting when we
Sterling,
came back.
that means a lot.
Yeah, 100%. Just overall, really made you feel confident, really took care of you, and did a really good job taking you up there to where you could finish.
Overall, this is an incredible experience because, I mean, it was thrown together last minute. It was 3 mountains that were higher than any of us had ever gone before. We had very little experience, but it gave us a ton of confidence for heading to Kilimanjaro. And that's what we're going to summit in about 6 hours from now. It's over there. Can't see it because of the clouds, so you get to enjoy this incredible view instead.